Shalom, all praises, glory, honor, and fear. Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Kadash. Double honors to our elders that came before us. And citation to election, the real warriors standing upon their feet and keeping this charge, just as Joshua kept the charge when it's Moses basically passed him that baton. And that's the times we're living in right now. We're basically bringing in the charge, leading our people into what? Into paradise. And it's not gonna feel good. It's not gonna be smooth and sweet. Through much tribulation we shall enter in. And just like when the Yahushua was on that crucifixion, going on through all that affliction and pain and suffering and hell, well, the one on his right side, he said, today you shall be with me in paradise. So see, he was suffering too. And we're gonna go into Joshua 7. We're gonna go into Joshua 7. Because a lot of our people, what you come to find out is that with all these enchantments and spells and just wickedness and darkness, a lot of guys are being consumed by it, being overtaken by it, because they're not like you say in Romans 12:21, be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. A lot of guys are being overcome by the evil, and their eyes being turned evil towards the brother, towards this truth, and towards the Lord. And we're seeing that, and there's an accursed thing. There's an accursed thing in the midst of our people. That's why a lot of our people, they're not able to stand against the wiles of the devil. They're not able to stand against the enemies. The enemies of the cross, Esau, Edom, the heathens, you see? And a lot of guys, they break down a lot of scriptures wrong, and because they disregard that the wicked isn't just Esau. It's also our own people. That's a big stumbling block, man. And you have to tell our people about it, or guess what? You and those people are going to be destroyed. Alright, Joshua 7:1. But the children of Israel committed a trespass in the accursed thing. Now, an accursed thing is something that what? Is a bad thing that makes things sin and death. And a lot of guys, they pervert the gospel, the good news of the Lord, and they're preaching bad news. They're preaching news of the world. Even the 7 o'clock news reporters preach news, but they don't have the spirit of the Lord. They don't have the truth, you see, in their earthen vessel. So a lot of guys are just giving them all this bad news. They're not really giving out the gospel. Oh, this guy died, this earthquake. Oh, Israel passed. That's cool. That's everyone could bring that out. An antichrist, atheist could bring out that information. You see? But only a few was able to bring out Yahushai, Matthew 23, the weightier, more important, right? More important, more weightier, more heavy things of the truth that mean more, that are more important, that actually have the preeminence, that should be first. You see, that should have been foundation. See, a lot of guys, they're building on air, they're building on nothing. You see, they're talking about all this, that, and the third, and tithe this and arm this, but see, when it comes to faith, judgment, mercy, they have none of that. They've omitted that, which that means they canceled. And they canceled out, and they destroyed brothers that actually came with that faith, that came with that righteous judgment, not judging things by the outward appearance, not judging by respect of persons. Judgment, faith, and mercy. A lot of guys don't have mercy. The Lord ain't showing them mercy, so how are you going? If the Lord isn't going to a man mercy and being merciful to a man, then how is that this evil man going to have mercy on his brother? He's not. He's actually going to kill and destroy his brother. So that word accursed is a thing banned, a thing perforated, have been utterly destroyed, appointed to utter destruction. So there's men in this truth right now that are appointed to utter destruction. See, that word perforated is a pierced with a hole or holes. So a lot of guys, they got holes in their doctrine. They got a lot of holes in their boat. You see? And all that oil is just seeping through. It says, but the children of Israel committed a trespass and the accursed thing. For Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took of the accursed thing, and the anger of Yahweh was kindled against the children of Israel. And how you gonna know the anger of the Lord is kindled, has been set off, has been set on fire, is through his men. Because the Lord said in Luke 12:49, think not that I'm coming to send peace. The Lord said, what will I if his anger, his judgment be already kindled? So who's kindling the judgment? Is the elect. Is the men that's despised and hated of all men for the Lord's name. Ecclesiastes 11 and verse 4. Verse 27, the affliction of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure. So if you're not worshiping the Lord, because we're in that hour now, we're in the last few moments of the hourglass. It says the affliction of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure. And in his end, his deed shall be discovered. So we're in the time, we're in the end now of guys' deeds, their actions being discovered. If they're true action and deeds of the Lord, or if they're of men, or if they're of Baal, a different Lord, a false Lord, a Lord that spills blood, that cuts themselves and cuts others too. Bloodshedders, murderers, manslayers, loss of life, loss of health, loss of love. Says, judge none blessed before his death, for a man shall be known in his children. Bring not every man into thine house, for the deceitful man hath many trains. Like as a partridge taken and kept in a cage, so is the heart of the proud, and like as a spy watcheth he for thy fall. And see, the thing is with the proud and the arrogant in these times, and in this truth, they've set a trap and a snare for the righteous, but see, they're going to fall into it. Just like Haman, the Agagite, the Amalekite, he wanted to destroy Mordecai and all the Jews. But see, what happened was he and all his posterity, all his sons went on them gallows and got hung and killed. That's how I'm living in now, man. Says, for he lieth in wait and turneth good into evil. You see, so guys, they've taken this truth, this good news, this gospel, this good, what is good, right? They've turned it into evil, man. It says, for he lieth in wait and turneth good into evil, and in things worthy praise will lay blame upon thee. And what's worthy of praise? Praising how about Shemi Shai. You see? Basically, and see, we're not asking for men to praise us, but see, basically drawing brothers to other men that are good examples of the Lord. Like it says in James, the 5th chapter, take the prophets for an example that have, through much suffering and affliction, have endured, obtaining the promises. Those men. Of a spark of fire, a heap of coals is kindled, and a sinful man layeth wait for blood. Take heed for the mischievous man, for he worketh wickedness, lest he bring upon thee a perpetual blot. And see, the Lord, right, the men of the Lord, we're kindling this fire, and we're setting it off. Sirach 16:6, and the congregation of the ungodly shall fire be kindled, and a rebellious nation wrath is set on fire. So that's times when we're in the days of the Lord's wrath. And those that are really fearing the Lord, not fearing man or death, or fearing what men think about them, those are the candles searching things out. Not scared to expose the darkness and the evil amongst his truth, amongst camps. All right, this is Ecclesiastes 32:16. They that fear the Lord shall find judgment. So we found the Lord's judgment, and now it's what it's being like a river's living water, man. Let judgment run down as a mighty stream. So that this mighty stream is running down. And see, when we do videos or live streams, it's not no death stream or dead stream where the spirit of Yahushua is not there. When we do videos or live streams, Yahushua is in the midst of us, not the accursed thing. We've cut that off. We've exposed that, man. It says, and shall kindle justice as a light. And this light that we have, we're going to let it shine. This little light, right? Like that song. But see, the light is going to be evil spoken of. And that's why our people, like it says in John, and they don't come to light, they love darkness rather than light, lest their deeds be reproved. They don't want their deeds to be reproved. You see, in Proverbs 29:1, he that being often reproved hardeneth his neck shall be destroyed without remedy, man, without anything to help them or heal them. And that's times we're living in. A sinful man will not be reproved, but find an excuse according to his will. So a lot of guys are all about what they want, what they think, which is deceitful. Joshua 7:2 says, and Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Bethaven, on the east side of Bethel, and spake unto them, saying, go up and view the country. And the men went up to view Ai. And they returned to Joshua and said unto him, let not all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and smite Ai, and make not all the people to labor thither, for they are but few. So there went up thither of the people about 3,000 men, and they fled before the men of Ai. So the Israelites, right, they fled, they ran away. They turned their backs to the enemies, man, which you're not supposed to do. Never turn your back to the enemy. Because what are they going to do? They're going to stab you in your back. See, a lot of guys, that's what they've done, and they're in the spirit of retreating. Guys is prophesying the goddamn forest and goddamn children's playgrounds. Which wisdom is not there, man. And wisdom, Sirach 6, wisdom's not manifest unto many, only the few that's still in the highways and byways, still on the forefront of this charge. Not holding back their sword from blood. Not scared of death. Not scared of incarceration. Like you have this guy come up to our camp with this fearful, unbelieving spirit. Oh, do you guys know who you are? Yeah, we know exactly where we are. We know what time we're in. We know who we are. We know who the Lord is. We know who the enemy is. And we know the weapons of our warfare. See, the reason why he's in that spirit, a lot of guys are in the same spirit because why? You don't know, man. You do not have the answers. You do not know the Lord. You do not know what to do, the criteria, where wisdom is found, where to preach and prophesy out, where to have camp is in the highways and byways, the chief place concourse, so everyone can see it and hear it. The heathens, those that hate it, right? Those that never heard about it, everyone, let your light shine. Don't be ashamed of the gospel or the Lord, which a lot of guys fucking are, man. They're ashamed of the Lord and the gospel, man. And that's why when the Lord comes back, he's gonna be ashamed of you. This place is done, man. And guys, they're done with it. Joshua 7 and verse 5. And the men of Ai smote of them about 36 men, for they chased them from before the gate even unto Shebarim, and smote them in the going down, wherefore the hearts of the people melted and became as water. Now, let's get that word from melted, because if you're not gold, if you're not strong, then guess what? You're going to melt. You're going to explode. You're going to liquidate. You're not going to be strong and solid. So that word melted in the Hebrew is masas, meaning to waste away, dissolve, to vanish. You see, the spirit of the Lord, the spirit of a man of war, that hard, courageous, brave, it melted, man. It vanished away. It says to grow fearful, to be faint, to be worthless, wasted. That's what happened to them, man. They become worthless. Lord can't use them for anything. All right. Oh, and it also means to be discouraged. See, with fatigue, with disease. So a lot of our people are diseased. Are 2/3 inside this truth, that know the Israelites, that know the mark of the beast is a chip, that know certain scriptures, right? Even guys outside, right? They have been discouraged. They're faint. They're diseased, and it's a plague going on. And if you're around them, then guess what's gonna happen to you? You're gonna that disease, this plague is gonna what? It's gonna cleave onto you. It's gonna overtake you too. You see? It's gonna infect you because it's infectious. It spreads, and that's why when you go into the law, if there was a fearful, unbelieving man amongst the camp, he wasn't supposed to go to war. He was supposed to go back home. He was supposed to go back home so that he wouldn't discourage and melt other brothers' hearts and spread that disease. All right, this is Deuteronomy 20:1. When thou goest out to battle against thine enemies, and seest horses and chariots and a people more than thou. And see, that's what you can see on the outside. But just like when the time of Elisha, he asked the Lord to open up the eyes of his servant, that he could see that there was more with them that was with those that are in the flesh. You see? So a lot of guys that walk after the flesh, you cannot please the Lord. And that's why the Lord said we walk not by sight, we walk by faith, you see, because it takes faith to get the victory. It takes faith to please the Lord, you see. Be not afraid of them, for the Lord thy God is with thee, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. So what's being proved right now is that the Lord's not with everybody, because there's a lot of our people that have been partaker of the accursed thing. See, guys that have perverted the gospel, guys in high places, they are accursed. You see, and they're going to be destroyed by the fire. Lord, no respecter person. Says, and it shall be when ye are come nigh unto the battle, that the priest shall approach and speak unto the people. So the true priests are speaking the words of the Lord, the laws of warfare, and this is all spiritual. And shall say unto them, hear, O Israel, ye approach this day unto battle against your enemies. Let not your hearts faint, fear not, and do not tremble, neither be ye terrified because of them. For Yahweh your power, Yahweh your power is he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. And Lord's only saving who right now? The elect. You see, and real quick testimony, man. I did a whole video. I don't know how long it was. The spirit was flowing, but it didn't even save. But see, it got me annoyed and pissed off. But guess what? I'm right back doing the video all over again, man. Not wasting no time. You see, this is the battle. This is what we have to deal with, man. The wear and tear, getting strikes, getting our channels taken down, our videos not saving. You see, this is what's going to happen to you when you really truly have the word of the Lord, because it's precious. You see, it's hard to come by. It's hard to put out. You see, Satan and the demons, the anti-Yahushas, ain't going to like this, man. You see, but you have to persevere. You have to fight through all the pressure. You have to fight through all the shortcomings. So this is Joshua 7 and 6 says, and Joshua rent his clothes and fell to earth upon his face before the ark of the Lord until the eventide, he and the elders of Israel, and put dust upon their heads. And Joshua said, alas, O Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, wherefore hast thou at all brought this people over Jordan to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites to destroy us? Would to God we had been content and dwelt on the other side of Jordan. O Lord, what shall I say when Israel turneth their backs before their enemies? You see, and you're supposed to never turn your back to your enemy, because what is your enemy going to do? They're going to backstab you, man. You see? The Lord said, never trust thine enemy. And see, a lot of you guys, what's being also proved is that a lot of guys are not fit for the kingdom, because the Lord said, if you turn back, if you take your hand off the plow, remember Lot's wife, and a lot of guys are not being persistent. The Lord said to pursue your enemies, man. And just like in Joshua, what did Moses do? Moses gave the charge to Joshua to keep the charge, man. To keep our people strong and to possess the land. And that's what you have now in these last days. You have little Joshua and Caleb that have a different spirit in them. We're not doing videos on the world and vocab and Shakira and all this bullshit, man. That don't matter. Our God is not the God of the dead, but of the living. See, the God, they're silent. They don't praise the Lord. But the elect, they're alive, man. And they're upon their beds with a two-edged sword with the high praise of God in their mouth. Not the praise of fucking men. You see, not faint-hearted in that they'll get their channel taken down and then they just fucking give up. You know, just like in my case right now, my video didn't save and I just give up. I just follow the truth, man. You see? Proverbs 25 and 5. Take away the wicked from before the king, and his throne shall be established in righteousness. So that's what's being established right now. Judgment's being established in the gate. Set thrones of the house of David. See, and just like we went into, right? The house of Saul got weaker. The house of David got stronger. Stronger means what? Louder, more powerful, stronger. But weaker means what? Like we went into, let me just get it one more time. Second Samuel 3 and 1. And this war is still going on to this day. So that word weaker, which House of Saul is waxing, and they're waxing worse and worse as well, is one. It means dangling. So they're just hanging on. They're just hanging on to this truth. See, weaker, and what that definition for weaker is lacking the power to perform physically demanding tasks, lacking physical strength and energy. You see, lacking social power or influence. See, they're not teaching with authority. They're as the scribes and Pharisees, which are what? Dead. Exerting only a small force. See, only giving half of themselves, man. Not giving it their all. See, and then hating the men that are, and throwing javelins at men that are, and they're getting stronger. They're getting louder. See, I remember guys, you know, we'd be on the housing Bibles and be like, man, why you gotta say it so loud, man? Quiet down. See, and I don't know what's going on with them. And there's a reason why, because the house of Saul is waxing weaker and weaker. It's more quiet and quiet. They're losing their voice. They're losing that breath of life. The house of David's getting stronger, more powerful, louder, right? And with authority too. You see? Now this is Matthew 25 in verse Matter of fact, scratch that. Luke 11:44. It says, "Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are as graves which appear not, and the men that walk over them are not aware of them." You see? So they're not even aware, because like me and the brother went into the hour of the true worshipers, the 11th hour. They're not aware of the hour and the time we're in. Then answered one of the lawyers and said unto him, Master, thus saying thou reproachest us also? And he said, Woe unto you also, ye lawyers! For ye laid men with burdens grievous to be borne, and ye yourselves touch not the burdens with one of your fingers. See, because just like it says in Sirach, which I'll get right now, we're going to bring it all out, man. See, we put precept upon precept. We put line upon line. Unlike a lot of you other guys, man. You see, because the Lord said, he that will hear a wise word. And the Lord said, cleave to the Lord, so the demons shall flee from you. A lot of guys are not cleaving to the word. They're cleaving to this world, and guys that are false anointings, guys that use this truth and actually just speak of the world. They're cleaving to them. And that's why they got all them they got their disease, man. The plague has gotten them. The accursed thing. They're weak. So let's go to Ecclesiastes 21:15. If a skillful man hear a wise word, he will commend it and add unto it. See? He's gonna move one of his fingers. He's gonna do a video to add on to it, to bring more light on certain subjects that need to be talked upon. Not partaking of the darkness and the workers of iniquity. It says, but as soon as one of no understanding heareth it, it displeaseth him, and he casteth it behind his back. And see, a lot of guys are casting Yahushai behind their back, and Yahushai is casting them behind. He's casting them out. You see? Deuteronomy 20, and let me just jump to the point here. Deuteronomy 20 and verse 8 says, and the officers shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, what man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go and return unto his house, lest his brethren's heart faint as well as his heart. See, because that's an infection, man. That it spreads. So the fearful, the unbelieving, right? They're all gonna be heaped up with the murderers, the idolaters, the adulterers. They're all gonna be together, man. You see, because it's like a plague. It's gonna, and see, that's why this is now. Let's go to number 16. This is why the Lord said, don't come near their tents, man. Don't touch anything of theirs. Number 16 in verse 24, it says, in verse 23, it says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, right, and the Lord, he's speaking to us. And if you don't listen to us, you're not listening to the Lord. He that heareth us, heareth the Lord. And if you don't listen to us, then guess what? You're not listening to Yahushai, man. Speak unto the congregation, saying, get you up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And these are highly exalted men in all these camps, man. Sakari, SPK, Great Millstone, right? Guys that really showed who they truly are, man. They're false apostles, man. Revelation 2:2. Thou canst not bear them that say they're apostles and are not. They claim like they're true leaders, but they make our people to cause them to err. They don't have the spirit of truth, man. Says, speak unto the congregation, saying, get you up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Moses rose up and went to Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest they be consumed in all their sins. And a lot of guys are going to be consumed in all their sins, because why? They're not arising and departing. Because this is not your rest. The way the guys are teaching is they're teaching you to put you to rest. You know how they say when someone dies, rest in peace? That's the spirit of a lot of guys is coming in, man. They're dead. Dead men's graves that appear not. They walk over them. They're not aware of them, man. They don't make them aware, man. They sing you fast, sound asleep. You see, Isaiah, matter of fact, let me get this one first. Matthew 25:24. Then he which had received 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew that thou art an hard man, reaping when thou hast not sown, and gathering when thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast, that is thine. You see, so they wasn't worthy, and they didn't handle the Lord's true riches correctly, which is his word. And they hid it in the earth, just like Achan, that took the accursed thing, the Babylonian garment, and all them silver and gold. He hid it in the earth under his tent, and he got himself and his whole family killed. And there came a time and point where he could not hide it anymore, man. And that's time to coming in too. Nothing hidden that should not be revealed. Achan owned up to it, which we gotta get in Joshua 7. You see? Everything's being revealed right now, man. Matthew 25 and verse 28. Take therefore the talent from him. So what they had, because talent doesn't win games. What wins is actually hard work. And guys, they're actually hating the laborious work the Lord has set forth in these last moments. It says, and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. For unto everyone that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath none shall be taken away, even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. And why are they unprofitable? Because why? They're not increasing in the spirit. They're not increasing disciples of Yahushua. They're increasing disciples of men which are not disciples of Yahushua. Says, there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So guys are being cast in the outer darkness, man. Their eyes full of darkness. How great is that darkness? You see? And that's what's happening, man. So let's go back. Let's go to Joshua 7. Keep reading here. Joshua 7 and 9. It says, for the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land shall hear of it, and it shall environ us around. Meaning that word environ makes me surround and encompass. Surround. We'll be surrounded by enemies. And cut off our name from the earth. And what wilt thou do unto thy great name? And Yahweh said unto Joshua, get thee up. So we're just like Joshua, we're getting ourselves up. You see? Wherefore liest thou thus upon thy face? Israel has sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant which I commanded them. For they have even taken of the accursed thing. Now, guys, what they've done is that they've taken the accursed things of Korah and of Achan. They've coveted after things of this world that look good, that shine. But what glitters is not always gold. You see? They've chosen things on the outward, and they've chosen carnal prophets rather than spiritual prophets that have the spirit of Yahushua in them, not on them. You see? And what's happened is, right, like the scripture saying in Proverbs, eat not the bread of him that hath an evil eye. And these guys, their eye is evil. Their eye is full of darkness. And they become a curse too, like an infection, like a disease, and it's plaguing our people, man. It says, for they have even taken of the accursed thing, they have also stolen and dissembled also, and they have put it even among their own stuff. Therefore, the children of Israel, here's the point. This is why a lot of guys are in the forest and the children's playgrounds, right? And they're not on the cheap place concourse where wisdom is truly found. Because wisdom not manifests unto many, only a few. And you're seeing the few right now, man, being bold, being courageous, being strong and valiant for the law. It says, therefore the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you anymore, except ye destroy the accursed from among you. So that's what we're doing. We're destroying the accursed from amongst us, man, in the spirit. Up, sanctify the people, and say, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow. So the time judgment comes speedily. A prayer out of a poor man's house enters the Lord Sabaoth, and his judgment comes speedily, quickly. You see, and just like in Numbers 16, the judgment came the next day. It didn't take long. And Lord, he's speeding up time, lest no flesh should be saved, lest our people won't be able to stand against our enemies, man. It says, Joshua 7:13, up, sanctify the people, right? Thus said the Lord God of Israel, there is an accursed thing in the midst of these. So Yahushua is not in the midst of the many, and all these big camps. A lot of these camps have been compromised at this point in time. The Lord in the midst, he's in the midst of 2 or 3 that's gathered in his name, in the truth. It says, there's a cursed thing in the midst of thee, O Israel, thou canst not stand before thine enemies until ye take away the accursed thing from among you. So let everything be done in decency and order. We have to take away this accursed thing, man. It says, in the morning, therefore, ye shall be brought according to your tribes, and it shall be that the tribe which the Lord taketh shall come according to the families thereof, and the family which the Lord shall take shall come by households, and the household which the Lord shall take shall come man by man. See, one by one. To get down to the solution, what's going on. And see, it's heavy too, because this was only, and the Lord said, wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroyeth much good. You see, so only one man, Achan, in his household had the accursed thing, but it was causing all of our people to flee and be afraid and scared and all messed up and weak before our enemies, man, turn their backs to him. You see? And it shall be that he that is taken with the accursed thing shall be burnt with fire, he and all that he hath, because he hath transgressed the covenant of the Lord, and because he hath brought folly in Israel. Let's get a word for folly, because folly is what folly is setting great dignity, but the rich sit in low place. So you have to understand that the higher you are, the more wicked you are. That word folly is senselessness, disgrace, immorality, profane action. So guys are doing things outside of the temple of the Lord, which we are the temple of the Spirit of the Lord that dwells in us. So they're doing things outside the scriptures. It says contumely disgrace. All right, vile, crimes, foolishness. These are foolish virgins, man. You see? And they have all these holes in them, and the oil is just leaking out, man. You see? So this is what has to be done. Proverbs 25:5. Take away the wicked from before the king. So that's exactly what we're doing, man. We're taking away the wicked from before Yahushai. And his throne shall be established in righteousness. You see? The throne of the house of David. You see? Who the Lord is reigning over and ruling over in righteousness. Isaiah 33:14. And it's heavy too, because let's go back to Joshua 7, because Achan, because we're living in a time now, you can't do anything against truth before the truth, and nothing hidden that shall not be revealed. So everything is coming out to light, man. Joshua 7:19. And Joshua said unto Achan, my son, give, I pray thee, glory to the Lord God of Israel, and make confession unto him, and tell me now what thou hast done. Hide it not from me. And Achan answered Joshua and said, indeed, I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel, and thus have I done. You see, he couldn't hide it anymore, man, under his tent. See, because let's just say, what if he was to not, hide it and not bring it to light, not confess it and show what wickedness he was doing? And then guess what? We would have fell. We would never inherited the land that we were supposed to possess. See, prophecy wouldn't have been fulfilled. 21. When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonish garment, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them and took them. And behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it. And this is all symbolic of what? Matthew 25:25. That wicked, slothful servant that hid his talent. You see? You hide the spirit, you hide the knowledge of Yahushai, but you covet after things of the world that of the Babylonians and the heathens, of money and shit. You see? We're going to get back to the judgment on Achan. Isaiah 33:14. Hear, ye that are far off, what I have done, and ye that are near, acknowledge my might. And that's what we're full of. We're full of the power and might of the Lord to show Israel their sins and their transgressions. Now, if they humble themselves in good, they're going to save their souls. But a lot of our people, they're fucking proud, man. They're arrogant. And they're haughty. And they're not repentful. They're not sorrowful for what they went off at. They just rebel. They become more and more disobedient. Hosea 5:5. And the pride of Israel doth testify. Verse 4. They will not frame their doings to turn unto their power, for the spirit of whoredoms is in the midst of them, and they have not known the Lord. You see, now people, they don't know who the Lord sent. They don't know the true apostles, the true prophets. You see, because with Korah and Dathan and Abiram, with all these highly exalted men, these camps, the guys that put camps above Yahushai, they put the men of the Lord in a bad light. You see, and they cause our people to not know who's truly son of the Lord. But see, that's all prophecy, because most of the works of the Lord are hidden, and he's hidden going into his hidden ones in Psalms 83. All the nations conspiring against them, Lord's hidden ones. Hosea 5:4. Verse 5 says, and the pride of Israel doth testify to his face. Therefore shall Israel and Ephraim fall in their iniquity. Judah also shall fall with them. You see, so we're in the time of the fall of many. Many fallen, because why? They've been disobedient, rebellious, satanic, adverse, anti-Yahushai, and they covet after things of this world, man. A lot of guys, they want to keep their YouTube platform and their position in Rome, in America, just like in that time. Same thing in now. Like it says in John 11. What they've done is the Lord's giving them to that lust, right? What they want in this world, the social media platform, all this bullshit, and all subscribers and fame. But he's taking the spirit away from them. You see? And when you go to John 11, this is what they was all scared of, man. John 11. And 47, it says, then gathered the chief priests and Pharisees a council and said, what do we, for this man doeth many miracles? And we're doing the same thing. We're doing great works in the names of Yahushua. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. So it was all about their place. And when you go to Ezekiel 8, this is what the wicked of the elders and the ancients do. Lord put Ezekiel up on game, what they do, man. They turn their backs towards the Lord. All right. Ezekiel 8 and 15. Then said he unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? And we're showing you what the vision in the eyes of the Lord, what he sees and what he sees in the darkness, and we bring it to light. O son of man, turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house. And behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east, and they worship the sun toward the east. You see, they worship the stars of heaven. They worship things, they worship the creation, right? Babylonish garments and things like outward rather than the creator. Isaiah 33 and 14. The sinners in Zion are afraid. And that's what's going to happen. All you fearful and unbelieving, you're going to have your part in the lake of fire that burneth without, mixture. It says, the sinners in Zion are afraid. Fearfulness has surprised hypocrites. Who among us shall dwell the devouring fire? Who among us shall dwell the everlasting burnings? And just like the brother did that video, the Lord's prepping the way, right, for Yahushua to come through his men. And see, John, he baptized with water, which that's symbolic of the first death, the first judgment with Noah. The Lord found comfort in Noah, right, and he saved him, but he destroyed the whole world by water. But he that comes after John the Baptist, he's not worthy to even unloose the latches of his feet, meaning that he wasn't worthy to walk in his shoes, to bring out what he was about to bring out, to do what he was about to do. And Yahushua said he's going to baptize you in the spirit and in fire. So if you guys don't want to be baptized by the spirit and by the hearing of the word and get deep into the spirit, into the word, and walk in the spirit, right? Then you're going to be baptized by the fire, man. You're going to be consumed by the fire, man. You see? And I'm gonna bring this out because just like in the movie Joker, right? Batman. See, he said in men's last moments, they show who they truly are. They can't fake it anymore. Because the truth is of force, which I'm gonna get another precept in Samuel showing you how the force of wickedness ain't bearing no rule. It's actually being judged and killed and taken out by valiant men who was raising up his warriors, his judges, his battle axes, his weapons. And men, they show you who they are in the last moments. This is 1 Samuel 26 and 21. It says, then said Saul, I have sinned. See, just like Achan, he owned up to it, and he dealt with the judgment, man. See, return, my son David, for I will no more do thee harm, because my soul is precious in the eye this day. Behold, I have played the fool, and I have erred exceedingly. You see, and a lot of guys, they have that spirit of error. You see, exceedingly now, man, because and a lot of guys, you ignore us, you ignore the spirit. Guess what? The Lord's gonna ignore you, and you're going to die a death, just like Achan in his household, just like Korah and Dathan and Abiram, just like Saul, that was killed in battle. It wasn't honorable deaths. See, the Lord said humility before honor, but you guys, you've gone honor, and now you're about to be humiliated. You're backwards, man. See, the Lord said humility before honor, and you guys got on your honor, your consolation, your praises, your fame, and now your humiliation is about to come after that. You guys are backwards, man. Not going the right way. Pride goes before a fall. You see? Joshua 7 and 24. And Joshua and all Israel, 25. Joshua 7:25. And Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? The Lord shall trouble thee this day. And all, see, this is all going into what? Jacob's trouble. All these things happening right now. And all Israel stoned him with stones and burned them with fire after they had stoned him with stones. You see that, man? And all these things were written for our learning. That you, let me get that precept. And guess what? If this don't save, then guess what? I'm going to do it all over again, man. You see? Let patience have a perfect work. Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written for aforetime were written for our learning. A lot of guys are not learning from our forefathers. What happened in past times, that's happening now. Those things were written aforetime. That which hath been is what shall be done. There's nothing new under the sun. So things happen over again. But guys are so carnal, they don't realize it. Romans 15:4. That we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope. You see? Now the God of patience, consolation, grant you to be like-minded one to another according to the Yahushua Mashiach, that ye may with one mind and one mouth glorify God, even the Father of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. You see? So it's all about being one in the Lord. Leviticus 26:36. And upon them that are left alive of you, I will send a faintness into their hearts in the lands of their enemies. And the sound of a shaken leaf shall chase them. So guys, they're in a spirit of like, they'll hear a leaf blow, on the street, and they'll get scared. What was that? What was that? Because the Lord ain't with a lot of guys, man. You see? And they shall flee as fleeing from a sword, and they shall fall when none pursueth. They shall fall one upon another, as it were before a sword, when none pursueth. And ye shall have no power to stand before your enemies. And ye shall perish among the heathen, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up. And they that are left of you shall pine away in their iniquity in the enemy's land. And also in the iniquities of their fathers shall they pine away with them. And that's what's happened to the wicked of our nation, man. They're pining away in their wickedness. And when you go to Wisdom of Solomon 17, right, it goes into their fear of man. Because that's why they're so goddamn worried. Because the Lord's going to, they're conscious. Matter of fact, let's go to Ecclesiastes 14. And 1, it says, blessed is the man that hath not slipped with his mouth. So a lot of guys are slipping in their mouth. And the Lord says it's better to slip on the pavement than to slip in the mouth. And a lot of guys, there's all kind of deceit and guile found in their mouth, man. It says, and is not pricked with the multitude of sins. 2, blessed is he whose conscience hath not condemned him, and who has not fallen from his hope in the Lord. See, a lot of guys, they've fallen in their hope in the Lord. Now, all they have hope in now is what? Things of the world. You see, Wisdom of Solomon 17 and 1. For great are thy judgments and cannot be expressed. Therefore, unnurtured souls have erred. And I'm going to jump down to the point, verse 11. 10. It says, for they died for fear, denying that they saw the air, which could of no side be avoided. For wickedness, condemned by our own witness, is very timorous, and being pressed with conscience, always forecasteth grievous things. So like I was saying earlier, a lot of guys are not giving the gospel. That word gospel means good news. News of Yahushua coming back. The parables, bringing out the Lord, how he's coming, the marriage, he's about to come. But guys are bringing out bad news, news of this world. Things that are destroying, things that are passing away. You see? Verse 12. For fear is nothing else but a betraying of this cause which reason offereth. And the expectation from within, being less, counted the ignorance more than the cause which bringeth the torment. You see? And this is, I'm going to close out with Samuel. This is Deuteronomy 1 and verse 38. You know what? 37. And also, Lord, was angry with me for your sakes, saying, thou shalt not go in thither. But Joshua, son of Nun, which standeth before thee, he shall go in thither. Encourage him For you shall cause in Israel to inherit it. So you have men in these last days, a few, the little ones, Joshua and Caleb's, that are going to cause the Israelites to inherit the earth. You know, those that have ears to hear, let them hear, and eyes to see, let them see. You know, those that are the fakes are being revealed, and the real is being revealed at the same time. Moreover, your little ones, which ye said should be a prey, and your children, and the Lord, and it's heavy too, because, like I said earlier, I don't know if it caught on the video, but see, a lot of guys, they're not seeking the scriptures, and the scripture in Hosea that they shall seek their King David. So you have to be seeking the Spirit, and by you seeking the Spirit, you're going to be seeking men that have the Spirit on them, that are of the house of David. Deuteronomy 1:39. Moreover, your little ones, which ye said should be a prey, and your children, which in that day had no knowledge between good and evil, so all they had was a tree of life, they shall go in thither, and unto them, like the innocent, will I give it, and they shall possess it. And as for you, turn you and take your journey into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea. So a lot of guys, they're taking their journey a different way. They're not going through this. They're not able to go through the straight gate. Then ye answered and said unto me, we have sinned against the Lord. We will go up and fight according to all the Lord our God commanded us. And when ye had girded on every man his weapons of war, ye ready go up into the hill. And Yahweh said unto me, say unto them, go not up, neither fight, for I am not among you. Whew. Lest you be smitten before your enemies. So I spake unto you, and ye would not hear, but rebelled against the command of Yahweh, and went presumptuously up into the hill. And that's the vast majority of our people, man. That explains our people, man. Disobedient, presumptuous, right? Do as thou wilt, not listening to the prophets, the leaders, right? But arrogant, man. Prideful, not humble. And the Amorites which dwelt in that mountain came out against you and chased you as bees do, and destroyed you in Seir, even unto Hormah. And ye returned and wept before the Lord, but the Lord would not hearken to your voice, nor give ear unto you. Because why? You didn't want to listen, man. And they were weeping, right? They were destroyed. So you abode in Kadesh many days, according to the days that you abode there, right? And they didn't inherit, they didn't possess the land in that time. And you guys ain't going to possess it now. Second, and I'm going to bring this up because a lot of our people, a lot of guys in this truth, you have the spirit of also of Amnon on you, which he couldn't refrain from his lusts. See, just like Achan, just like Korah, they just needed more. They couldn't help themselves. They couldn't control their spirit. 2 Samuel 13:1. And it came to pass after this that Absalom, the son of David, had a fair sister, whose name was Tamar, and Amnon, the son of David, loved her. And Amnon was so vexed that he fell sick for his sister Tamar, for she was a virgin. And Amnon thought it hard for him to do anything to her. But Amnon had a friend, see, but this wasn't his really true friend. Now check this out. Whose name was Jonadab, the son of Shemaiah, David's brother. And Jonadab was a very subtle man, just like the serpent in the garden. See? And he said unto him, why art thou, being the king's son, lean from day to day, wilt thou not tell me? And Amnon said unto him, I love Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister. And Jonadab said unto him, lay thee down on thy bed, and make thyself sick. And this is why the Lord said in Sirach, never trust your enemies, one. And number two, though they humble themselves, take good heed and beware of them. There's one that humble himself, but what? He's really prideful, man. You see? It says, and when thy father comes to see thee, say unto him, I pray thee, let my sister Tamar come and give me meat and dress the meat in my sight, that I may see it and eat it at her hand. You see, so he basically being a hypocrite, man, faking his sickness, man, so he could get what he wanted, so he could fulfill his carnal desires, which that was his, basically, you know, that was basically his sibling, man. You see, which was fucking off. All right, jump down to verse 11. And when she had brought him unto him, he took hold of her and said unto her, come, lie with me, my sister. And she answered him, nay, my brother, do not force me. You see, and that's what's happening now. We're in the time now of the wicked, evil deeds of bearing no force, bearing no rule. 2 Ezra 7. In verse, man, In verse 34, but judgment only shall remain. See, those that love judgment, those are a part of the Lord's judgment. Truth shall stand, and faith shall wax strong. And the work shall fall, and the reward shall be showed, and the good deeds shall be of force, and wicked deeds shall bear no rule. You see, so that's what's happened. The wicked deeds are bearing no rule. They're not of power. They don't have force anymore. All right. Let's keep reading here. 2 Samuel 13 and verse 11. 12 says, my brother, do not force me, for no such thing ought to be done in Israel. Do not thou this folly. And that's what bullies do. Bullies prey on those that are weaker than them. That's why a lot of guys, you fucking do all these women on videos on women. You know? Because you're weak as hell. Says, do not thou this folly. Says, and I, whither shall I cause my shame to go? And as for thee, thou shalt be as one of the fools in Israel. Now therefore I pray thee, speak unto the king, for he will not withhold me from thee. Howbeit he would not hearken unto her voice. Our people don't listen. They're fucking animals, man. They got to be put down. But being stronger than she, forced her and lay with her. And then Amnon hated her exceedingly. You see, a lot of guys are like this. You'll take a woman and then you'll what? You'll cut her off, or you'll leave her. Which the Lord said in the law, they shall not be a sodomite of the sons of Israel, nor a harlot of the daughters of Israel. But that's what our people are full of. So if it wasn't for the remnant, it would have been all like Sodom and Gomorrah, man. And Moses said, in the times of our fathers, it wasn't thus. You know, they wouldn't give a bill of divorce. You would be with that person until life. You know, but our people doing that was symbolic of what the Lord did to our nation, and then just trickles down from the heads. You know, Yahweh to Yahushai, to the man, to the woman. Let me get this real quick. I don't want to paraphrase it. This is Matthew 19 and 8. And Moses said the same thing in the law. Matthew 19 and 7. Then they say unto him, why did Moses then command to give writing of divorcement and to put her away? He said unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your heart, suffered you to put away your wives. But from the beginning it was not so. You see? 2 Samuel 13 and verse 15. Then Amnon hated her exceedingly, so that the hatred wherewith he hated her was greater than the love wherewith he loved her. And Amnon said unto her, rise, be gone. And she said unto him, there is no cause. This evil in sending me away is greater than the other that thou didst unto me. But he would not hearken unto her, you see? Then he called his servant that ministered unto him and said, put now this woman out from me, and bolt the door after her. And she had a garment of diverse colors upon her, for with such robes were the king's daughters that were virgins apparelled. Then his servant brought her out and bolted the door after her. And then Tamar, verse 19, Tamar put on ashes on her head, ran her garment of diverse colors that was on her, and laid her hand on her head, and went on crying. And Absalom her brother said unto her, hath Amnon thy brother been with thee? But hold now thy peace, my sister. He is thy brother. Regard not this thing. So Tamar remained desolate in her brother Absalom's house. But when the king David heard of all these things, he was very wroth. And Absalom spake unto his brother Amnon neither good nor bad, for Absalom hated Amnon because he had forced his sister Tamar. Let me get down to the point, alright? The judgment. Verse 28. Now Absalom had commanded his servant, saying, mark ye now when Amnon's heart is merry with wine, and when I say unto you, smite Amnon, then kill him, fear not. Have not I commanded you? Be courageous and be valiant. See that? And the servants of Absalom did unto Amnon as Absalom commanded. Then all the king's sons arose, and every man gat him up unto his mule and fled. See that? So just showing you how wicked our people are, man. You know. But Lord willing, you was edified. You know, I just had to redo that, man, through the Spirit. You know, the Lord wanted to come out like that, so you know, it just comes out like that. You know, and It's a powerful time we're living in right now, man, because a lot of things is being revealed, and just like Achan, just like all, you cannot hide yourself from the judgment of the Lord. There's no place where the workers of iniquity can hide themselves. You're not gonna get away with your spoils. You're not gonna get away with your Babylonian garment and you causing our people to get weak, to not be able to stand before our enemies. And all praise, glory, honor, fear, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai. Destruction, we're in the time of destruction demands all you anti-Yahushais, all you accursed out there that are preferring the gospel, man. And I don't care if it's an elder, I don't care if it's an angel. If they're preferring the gospel, man, they are accursed. Galatians, in the book of Galatians, man, read it and weep. And strength and endurance to the Lord's chosen. Shalom.